I did something that most people won't even try it. I went alcohol free for an entire month. And during that month, I'm going to share with you what I learned. Let's get into it. Okay, first of all, before we start the video, please don't congratulate me. Don't tell me good job. Don't tell me you can do it, Chance. Although I appreciate the support, but when I see that, it makes me feel like that I was some sort of alcoholic or something like that, and I don't feel like I was a. I don't feel like I'm an alcoholic. If you look at some of my previous videos, I talk about how I enjoy drinking just to be more social, to have fun. I talked about how it was I would get bored, or the weekends I look forward to it, kind of like an escape to get away from life, right? So really, I just wanted to do this 30-day challenge just to challenge myself, just to verify what I believe, to verify that I don't have any vices, that I don't have any issues, that it's not always me. You get in an argument with your wife or something like that, and they always like to say, "You drink too much." No, I don't drink too much. We just argue too much. How about that? So thank you for the support, but really, I just wanted to do this to try to learn a little bit more about myself. The main thing that motivated me to do this challenge was just a lot of things in general, to be honest with you. I wanted to lose weight. At the time that I started my journey, I weighed like 179.4 pounds. I'm right at 5'4", 5'5". So for me, I felt like that was too much weight on my frame. I weighed that whenever I was in high school lifting weights, playing football. And I should be more like 160 chiseled. So I'm not fat, but I do I'm wide, like I have a strong base, but I should be more chiseled, like I just said. So I want to lose some weight. I'm down like 8 pounds, 8 or 9 pounds right now from not drinking. I used to drink a lot of beer. I'd go up to the tap house on Friday night and drink those tall, they call them spotted cows. Those are really good drinks. They're kind of like Blue Moons. I used to love drinking those and just hanging out with the people up there and having a good time. So down 8 pounds. I got tired of waking up with headaches. On a Saturday or a Sunday, I'd wake up and I'd have a terrible headache. I'd feel fluffy because I might have drank 8 or 9 beers that night. Uh, I haven't felt that in a long time now. And sometimes I would even wake up and I couldn't remember what had happened. Who did I text? What did I say? What happened? Depending on how hard I went that night. So I haven't had that in a month, and that feels really good. It feels really good just to roll over in the morning time, wake up, and I can remember everything, and I can stretch, and I'm in a good place. Arguing, another benefit or another thing that I experienced was me and my wife or whoever, there would still be arguments or debates with people about specific things or whatever, maybe disagreements, but the arguments and the debates they didn't get taken, they didn't escalate. Sometimes when you drink alcohol magnifies everything and it just enhances everything. If you're in a good space, you have a great time. If you're in a depressed space, you get more depressed. If you're in a bad place, you get in a worse place. And so anytime there was an argument with my wife, I was able to navigate through the debate or the argument, or with kids or whatever, if there was something going on with their schoolwork or whatever, I could get through that with no issues. So it gives you better mental clarity on that. Also, when I used to drink, I'm the type of person that once I get going, I like to keep going until it's over with, until I pass out or whatever. I guess I never knew when to stop. Or I could stop just depending on what was going on. If I didn't have nothing going on the next day, I didn't mind drinking and listening to music all night and just having a good time. And so that was the issue, and I didn't like that, so I stopped doing that because I wasn't drinking. And then another reason that I wanted to start the challenge was because on my Facebook group, I have groups that I'm in, and I joined a couple when my brother was when my brother was alive. He had told me about some alcohol groups you can get into. So I joined a couple of those groups just to see what it was about. And when I go into those groups and I listen to these people talk, you can hear the things that they have lost in their life. and they're basically counting the days. Some guys and girls will come in there and say, I'm 8 years sober, I'm 2 weeks sober. And you can tell that alcohol really had an effect on their life, and it messed them up. And so I think about that, and I say to myself, you know, everything in my life is good right now. I have a really good career, 3 beautiful kids, my wife, everything. I have money, I have healthy, I don't smoke, everything's great, right? So why jeopardize that, right? Why drink at the bar or something and then come home with a DUI or get in trouble or whatever, right? Why? So don't even put yourself in that category. So that was another reason why I wanted to get after it, from watching other people, learning from their mistakes. I was spending too much money. And when I say money, like, I'll give you a good example. I would go up to the bar or to the tap house, and I get to drinking and feeling really good, and there'll be some girl there or even a guy. And if they were doing a good job and we were all having a good time, you're going to laugh at me when I tell you this, but one night I went in there, I was feeling good, and I said it was time to leave. And I looked at the girl, and I looked her right there in the eyeballs, and I said, how much are you worth? Whenever it was time to do the receipt. Oh, Lord, I don't think I'll ever ask that again. Actually, I've done that twice. And I did it that night, and I said, how much are you worth? And the only reason why I done it is because I seen it on YouTube one time. I think Shaquille O'Neal or somebody, they had did it to a girl in a store or a restaurant, and Shaquille was explaining how people don't never value themselves, and he said nobody's ever looked at him and said $10,000 or $5,000 or nothing like that. You know, he said they always go with a low ball number because people just don't value themselves, right? So here I am in the bar, and the old big wig, right, thinking I'm big and bad. I asked the girl, I said, how much are you worth? And she didn't even hesitate. And she said $300. Said it just like that. And I think my bill was only like $35. And without a hesitation, I wrote $300 in the tip. And she said, you got to be me. And everybody in the bar could hear it. And she said, no way. And I said, and as she said that, I looked at her and I put my jacket on, and she like was happy, like really happy. And everybody, she said, yeah. And everybody in the bar started clapping and stuff. And she says, I looked at her, and before I walked out, and I pulled over, I said, hey, come here. She's coming here. I looked at her, I said, imagine what would have happened if you'd have said $5,000. And then she said, you crazy. And then I walked out. It made me feel good, though. You know, it made me feel good. And I don't regret it. I felt great knowing that, you know, I was in a position financially that I could give somebody $300 and make them feel great. You know, it felt good. Down the next morning when I woke up, I rolled over in the bed and I said, dang, boy, what'd you do? And I was like, dang, I couldn't believe I did that, right? But again, it felt good. I did it again. A couple weeks later, I went to the military ball, and we were all having a good time, and there was a new waitress up there, and she was getting trained by another girl, and throughout the night she kept making sure I was good to go, and she was giving me anything I wanted as far as alcohol goes, and just being very nice. And you could tell she was learning. And at the end of the night, when it was time to settle up, I asked her, I said, how much are you worth? And she looked at me. She said, no, just what do you think? And I said, I'm gonna ask you one more time. I said, what do you think the night was worth? I said something like that. And she said, $200. And I wrote $200. And she said the same thing. She said, you got to be kidding me. I said, you have a good night. Again, it made me feel good. I'm not doing that no more. That's $500 right there that I just threw away. But you know what? It made somebody else feel good. So, but that's $500 that I could have kept, right? So, anyway, so that was something that I was doing, spending a lot of money. And then also, I needed to test myself, right? You need to, sometimes in life, at least I have to test myself to make sure that I don't have anything holding me back, or a vice or something that's stopping me from being the best that I can be. And I'll be honest with you, I was drinking a lot. And the reason why I was drinking a lot is because I'm down here in Wisconsin. My family's not here. On the weekends, I get extremely bored. There's not a whole lot to do. And so, you know, what else is there to do, right? You can only go to the gym so much, and you can only watch so many movies, right? So you just go out and you drink and you have a good time, right? Well, that's kind of what I needed to do. I just need to make sure I had no vices. During my initial thing, when I went through it, whenever I started doing it, my initial expectations was, I didn't think that it was going to be hard, because I have done it before. I did it, 2 years ago. I went an entire year without drinking. Now, granted, when I did it that year, I was going through a school, so there was a reason why I didn't want to do it, right? I had a purpose, right? But I didn't think it'd be hard, because I think you have to just commit, and it has to come from you. It can't come from your wife, and it can't come from your kids or your mom or your dad or whoever. You're doing it for the wrong people if you're doing it for them. You got to do it for yourself. And so once you physically get there, and then be honest, we're just going to, in order for you to get there, you got to get tired of losing. You got to get tired of failing for you to get to that point. Me, I got tired of waking up with hangovers. I got tired of waking up and looking at the scale and it say 179. I just kind of got tired of being a fat, sloppy pig. And so I was the one who made the decision. I said, I'm gonna bump this crap. I got to get on the good foot. So that's kind of what happened. I knew going into it that it was going to be boring, and being sober is a boring life unless you can find things that keep you busy. And I was able to do that. I found a YouTube channel, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. But overall, you have to just embrace being sober. You got to embrace it and just say, man, this is just what I do. Friday nights, I go to bed early. Saturday nights, I go to bed early. I watch TV, and I lay down, I go to sleep, get some good sleep. Tomorrow's a new day. And so the first week, whenever I went through it, Monday through Thursday is real easy because you're going to work, so you're busy. You wake up every morning, you're regimented, you do the same stuff. You go work out, you go work, you put your uniform on, you get your hair cut during the week. It's just routine, right? The hardest days are Friday and Saturday because you're off the next day, and so you don't have a whole lot to do, so you're looking for something to do, right? And then also, human nature tells us that we need to reward ourselves for the week that we had. No, you don't. You don't need no reward. You need to just go do your job and make money and do your job. You don't need no rewards. You want a reward, go get a Happy Meal from McDonald's. You don't need to go get drunk. I didn't have any withdrawal symptoms or changes in my routine. Some people, I hear about them going through withdrawals. I had nothing like that. When I cut it off, and that was the end of it. Whenever I would go to social functions, I think I went to a promotion, and I think I went to a Hail and Farewell, some other stuff. When I went out, or if I went to the bar and get something to eat, I would just get one of those Heinekens, the 0% alcohol. It tastes like a beer. It looks like a beer. I didn't feel like an outcast. I had no issues with that, so I didn't ever feel like I was in some sort of awkward setting. It just never happened with me. And actually, sometimes you'll notice when you go to those social events and they see you drinking 0% alcohol, they might not tell you this, but a lot of times they admire that and they respect that. I had one guy that I worked with, and it's in another video, you can go back and look at it. He actually said that. He said, sir, I actually respect you for that. He said, you made a decision, you committed. So you're actually probably inspiring someone because they probably got their own trials and tribulations that they're going through. The first week that I got into it, I seen a lot of increase in my productivity. I was a lot more productive because I was staying busy doing something, specifically this YouTube channel. I had another YouTube channel that I had for like 10 years. I had my kids' gymnastics and wrestling and some stuff that I had on there, some Disney trips. I had like 60 subscribers on there, but a lot of the subscribers on there were people that I knew from around the way or from work or whatever, and friends and family, some of my kids' friends. I didn't feel comfortable talking on there because I didn't know who was watching me. I knew it could be one of my kids' friends or something, or maybe one of my kids' friends' parents. I don't want them hearing me about no sober journey or nothing like that, or on here talking about my trials and tribulations. So I started watching other YouTube channels, specifically a guy named Top Dog Omar on his channel, Top Dog Sales. He talked about how we should start an entire new channel over, and he did the same thing because he had another channel with a dog named Togo that had a bunch of subscribers. He started his channel over, and I was watching him one night when I was in the restaurant, and he inspired me, and so I got in my truck And I drove all the way to Best Buy, 45 minutes away, and I got a camera and some other stuff, and I came home that night and I started rebranding my channel. And if you look at the channel now, in the month I've posted 18 videos on here, some shorts. We've picked up 25 subscribers, and none of them that I know. None of the people know me personally. So I'm already, a quarter of the way of where I was at on the other channel. And this one here feels a lot better because I can post and talk about the things I want to talk about without feeling judged. I was a lot more involved in the YouTube community. I talk to people in here now, and I'm learning a lot more. I learned how to use the website Canva, where I do my thumbnails, or I'll do different things that I need for YouTube to rebrand the channel. I learned how to edit the videos, put music to the videos. And then overall, I just started looking forward to things. I started waking up looking forward to things that were coming up. Alcohol sometimes can get you in this really bad place where you just think about negative things, and so I just started looking forward to things. When we talk physical benefits, sleep got a lot better. I sleep a lot better than I used to. I still have a little bit of issues with my neck, I guess maybe it's the way I'm sleeping. I have to stretch out my neck. Maybe it's just because I'm old. But wake up in a really good place as far as sleep goes. And then, like I said, I lost 8 pounds. My goal is to get down to 160 pounds. And then as far as the mental benefits goes, I like being sober because, number one, nobody can mess with you in a debate or an argument, because you're completely locked in. If you'll notice, if you drink a lot, when you get into a debate or an argument with your wife or someone, they always want to refer back to, you drink too much, right? You drink too much. And that's their clutch, and they go to that, right? Well, when you ain't drinking anything and you still got the same problems that you had, they don't have a whole lot to stand on, and you can beat them in a legitimate argument. I've noticed that with me. A lot with my wife, like she can't use that no more. That's not even a thing. So then what it does is you can flip it on them and say, you need to change some of your ways. I've changed my stuff. I've changed the cards I had. You need to start changing some of the things you do, because some of the things you do ain't accurate, and they don't really, they don't have a choice. They kind of have to take it. So I like that aspect of it. So the biggest challenge I would say in the entire month was just being bored. Make sure you have, find something that you like to do. This YouTube channel has been cool. We're not growing as fast as I want to grow, but I'm also not posting as much as I probably should post. I'm trying to post good content that I want to talk to. There's been a couple times where I'll start a video and it's just not something I'm interested in posting. I just want to make sure whatever I'm producing, it comes from the heart and it's something that I want to talk about, that I feel. So that's why I haven't been posting as much. So also during the challenge, I think on the first week after the first week, I started like a little diet through another channel I was watching. I'm trying to lose weight. I kicked caffeine. I cut caffeine completely out. And so I think quitting coffee was harder than drinking than the alcohol, because the coffee, I was drinking like a pot of that a day, right? Whenever I was doing it. The first 2 weeks of me stopping caffeine, I had terrible migraines, and I would come home during the duty day, and I would take a 2-hour, sometimes a 3-hour nap, power nap. I had no energy at all. I think that's behind me, because now I'm going into like week 2 of no caffeine, and I feel better. I don't do the power naps as much as I used to. So that was tough, and I may do some videos on that later. So after the 30 days was wrapped up, to kind of close it all up, I guess, I feel more accomplished. I feel like I'm in control of my life, and I get to choose what happens. There's no vices in my life. I don't think I have anything that holds me back. Like, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't do caffeine. I don't think there's one thing that you could look at me and say, man, you got a problem with that. You need to look at that, I like to eat, but damn, I got to eat, right? And maybe I could do a better job of picking things that I do eat, right? So I'm going to work on that. Some of the biggest lessons that I learned was, even if you do go sober, your problems will still be there even though you're sober. When you wake up the next day, you're still going to have issues at work or with your kids or with your wife or with your friends or whoever, your mom and dad. You're still going to have issues. So whether it be drunk or sober, you got to figure out how to maneuver around those issues. The alcohol is only going to enhance those problems and magnify them. So think about that. If you're not drinking, you will have the advantage though, because they can't blame that on you, and they will blame that on you if you're drinking. They always use that. Will I continue to do this or not? Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with it. I mean, why not, right? I've gone 30 days without no alcohol, and like I said, whenever I do want to drink something, I just grab one of those 0% alcohols. I think I just like the taste. It tastes like a beer, you know? And so I'll drink me a couple of those, one or two of those, maybe three, and then I'm good. There's no buzz, but it kind of gets me through that, you know? I also have a lot more goals that I want to get after. Mainly, I'd love to get down to 160 pounds, and I can't do that if I'm drinking beer, you know, or alcohol. I'd like to get chiseled and ripped. I'm not there yet. Moving forward, I'm going to plan on doing more challenges. I have come to learn in my life that I am a goal-oriented person. I love the chase. I love the ladder. I love climbing the mountain. I've always been like that. And what I've noticed is the reason why a lot of my alcohol picked up and I drank so much was because, I'm not saying this bragging, but I mean, it's just the truth. I've achieved everything in my life that I've ever went out to do, you know, and I'm not saying that to be cocky. I'm saying that because I have. I've become debt free. Everything that I have in my life is paid for. My house is paid for. All my cars are paid for. I've got money in the bank. I've got money in stocks. I'm about to retire from the military. I've got land. I've got a house. I've done well. And the reason why is because I was goal oriented. I was always chasing something, always looking for what was next. And a lot of people would tell me, you know, you never enjoy the now. You never enjoy the moment. Yeah, I mean, I did. That's just how I am. I like running towards something. That's just the way I've always been. And so what I want to do is I've got to start creating more challenges for myself, whether it be weight loss, whether it be, you know, just whatever it is. Come up with something and then just go do it and post videos about it, because that's what gets me off. I love that stuff. I would recommend to any of you guys to try a 30-day sober challenge, but you have to be the one who wants to do it. You're not going to do it for your wife and kids. You have to be the one who's tired of losing, or tired, and maybe you're not there yet. Maybe like, nah, I'm good, and that's okay. The only thing I would ask you to think about is, if you can't shut it down for 30 days, how's that going to look 5 years from now or 10 years from now, right? So just start thinking about that, because you don't want to be that one who ends up with a DUI or loses things that you worked hard for, and that would be very, very terrible. So don't do that. You have to be the one that wants to do it, though, ultimately. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. We're at like 23 minutes. You know, today the 15th, I started last month on the 15th, so I'm 30 days in. So, you know, it was great. I enjoyed it. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to find some other things to do now, and I'll post about that. But if you have any comments or questions, please put them into the comment section. Don't congratulate me. Don't tell me good job. Don't tell me you can do it, because I'm not an alcoholic, okay? I don't have problems like that. I appreciate the support, but that's not it. So, all right. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the next one.